What's up, dude?
Hi.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
It's I was thinking about this as I was setting this up earlier. It feels great. It's good to do a podcast with you again. It's been good seeing you again as I've been in town. But it feels good to do a podcast and not fighting a massive hangover.
That helps.
Yeah.
It's good for concentration to not be hungover.
Well, because last time we did one, we were out at, I forget what the bar, like 7 grams or whatever.
Yeah, I think, was that a night that I was drinking too?
Yep.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it feels good.
Yeah, that was an interesting night.
Yeah.
You had the rare chance of seeing me drink, which a lot of Austin comedians and comedians in general still cannot say. So congratulations, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, again, I'm just happy to be involved.
I'm just happy to be associated with degeneracy.
Yes. But how's it's been a year since we've done one of these. I mean, that acting thing you sent me was fucking awesome that you did, like the rehearsals that you were doing.
Yeah, that was fun.
Like, are you getting more into acting now? Because that's where you originally started.
I mean, I have a theater.
And all that.
I have a theater degree, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm acting a little bit more. I would say, like, I think we talked about it a little last year, but I really like that the shift in Austin comedy since I started is that a lot of people are encouraging of branching out from just stand-up. Yeah. There's a lot of people that really like making sketches. There's podcasters. There's people writing feature films. So the acting and comedy world are blending a lot more now, which wasn't the case when I started. And so I really like that. So I have been acting more, but kind of as a branch off of comedy again.
You're actually good at it too, by the way.
I fucking hope so. You're paid enough.
Yeah, like you're actually like that. Again, because you sent me the rehearsal, and I think you sent me 2 videos off of like the same script. You're actually fucking good at it, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, the short script that you're talking about it was originally written to be a single take short film, and she wanted to just see how it would work on stage, and it was fun. I mean, it was like a 15-page script, 10-minute scene, not difficult at all. Like a really good starter packet to get back into stage acting too. Like, my favorite thing about stage acting is the fact that it is all in the moment. You get one take. So she figured doing it on stage like that and training us to be off book and able to do it in one take was perfect, because then we can also shoot the short film. Right. So, we did the play to just test it out, and it went pretty well. We had a lot of fun with it. We liked the product, and the director is now kind of getting things together to shoot the short film. And she's someone that just she's a very good screenplay writer and just writer in general. She does a lot of comics and stuff too. Her name is Joy Lynn. But she knows the short film circuit. She kind of knows how that all works. And so I'm excited to be working with her and hopefully shoot that.
What I thought was interesting watching that, because not to give like all of it away, but like the premise of it is you guys are shooting, like you're shooting a scene inside the scene. And what I thought was interesting was everyone in front of the camera is very talented, but like you make this weird shift where you're acting within acting. Yeah. And then you go to just acting. Yeah. And so like when the guy said cut, I thought that was like, oh, she sent me B-reel too. That's cool. Right. I was like behind, like, oh no, they're still acting. Oh shit. So is there like I don't know how to word it, because I'm not versed at all in acting or filmmaking and stuff like that, but like, is there like a thing you have to flip in your head, or is there like a conscious decision where it's like, okay, we're no longer doing like that second, like that like 3D acting, now we're just acting?
I would say like when you're acting in general, there's a couple of different ways that you can approach it, but the way that we were talking about it was very Meisner, which is like one of the types of acting schools, which is basically you need to figure out what your character's motivation is and live that as if that's what you are trying to achieve. Like there's always a motivation for a scene. We wouldn't be having this conversation unless it was important. You have to always treat each scene like that. And so, on one level, it's like, okay, the audience discovers that we're acting within acting as the scene goes on. But in reality, I kind of just treated the first scene where I'm double acting as, okay, it's me trying to act, right? What's a hyperbolic version of what this character wants to achieve? Because as soon as the director yells cut the first time and you realize it was a scene within a scene, you kind of are like, oh, that's why the first half felt so dramatic. It wasn't quite realistic. Like, that was a decision that we made. We wanted it to be a little hyper realistic in the.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the amazing people over at Chopped Chili. Guys, this is personally my favorite chili brand here in the state of New Mexico, and you can find them online at choppedchilico.com. You can also find them all across the state of New Mexico at Sprouts, Albertsons, Smith's, and a bunch of other stores in Albuquerque, Santa Fe, Las Cruces. I believe they're even down in El Paso now. They sell red and green chili, of course. My personal favorite is this blend of red and green, and they also sell online frozen bags of green chili. So again, go to choppedchilico.com to get yourself some amazing chili today. Now back to the podcast.
Beginning.
I was going to say, because you guys weren't like hamming it up. Like, it wasn't corny, but it was like exactly dramatic. It was like a little exaggerated.
Yeah.
And then you like brought it down to earth a little bit more. Right.
Okay, and Joy just has such a good way. Like, it was so funny. It was so funny working with regular actors again, too, because Joy has such a good way of writing what looks like a serious script on paper. But as soon as it goes on stage, it can be super dark humor. Like, I mean, that scene in the beginning, it's a man confessing his love for me and trying to get me to leave my husband, right, for him. And that's like such an intense conversation to have. And we played it as if it was extremely serious, but just the way that some of the phrases were delivered, the audience laughed so hard. And it was so funny because, I mean, the recording that I sent you of the live performance was the first time we did it in front of a crowd. So I could see my scene partner not realize that was so funny. And he like almost ran over the laughs a little bit. Like, that was the first director note after the performance was like, Allison's the only one that knows how to do comedy in this group. You can't step on the laughs. So, but yeah, I mean, it was fun because we were trying to play it as if this was life or death. This is the most serious conversation we could be having in the entire world. And then, that just makes it so much more contrasting when the director yells cut and we're acting completely different towards each other, because you realize the actors have
history and there's issues. You turn into you turn into a bitch real quick.
Right.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was funny. My main note is always like smile less, actually. I kept saying that to the director. I was like, Jonathan, I've never had a man tell me to smile less. How sweet of you.
That's funny. And I mean, it's cool that, like you were saying a little bit earlier, it's cool that it's a good way to get back into it. Because you've been doing so much road work recently on the stand-up side of things. So like the fact you had time to fit that in your schedule because you've been out the last 4 or 5 weekends?
I don't even know, dude. It's been like since like, what is it now? It's the end of May. So yeah, since like mid-April, definitely. But before that, I was out in West Texas like every other weekend, like kind of on the road, but in Texas. Right. And then April.
Well, in all fairness, Texas is so fucking big.
Yeah. Yeah. Me and Destiny drove to Denver, and it was a 15-hour drive, and 11 of it was in Texas.
God bless.
Yeah. I texted we literally left here at like 6 a.m. the day that we were going, because we were like, we're doing this in one shot. Yeah. We have to trade drivers every 2 hours. It'll be fine. And I texted my roommates when we were crossing the border out of Texas. And I was like, 4 more hours to go, just leaving Texas. And they were like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did when I was coming out here. I just was like, fuck it, just one shot through the night.
Yeah.
And just like sleep for like an hour maybe, and then just go through the whole thing. And I mean, you were helping me out with this when I had gone to Plano, just like writing about the roads and shit. But like, your guys' fucking highways here are so much better than
I know. The biggest issue with the highways is literally the animals running onto them. Like, the highways are so nice.
And I've never ran into that.
Yeah.
Literally,
seriously, same.
I've never seen an animal.
I see dead ones, or I will see them up ahead crossing sometimes, but I've been very lucky so far too. Yeah.
So when you're going on the road, and 'cause I feel like that's one of the more like intangible parts of stand-up comedy is figuring out how to get out of your own state and figuring out how to get on the road and do more gigs like that. I mean, it's tough getting booked in state or
Right.
anywhere. I mean, especially when you're starting out. But like how, because you've been doing stand-up now for 7
years
right?
this month.
7 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how are you going about and making those kind of connections and figuring all that out outside of Austin? Because Austin's a big enough animal to tackle, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But getting outside of Austin, how do you go about doing that?
I'll say I talked about how lucky I felt on the last episode. I do feel very lucky that I started in Austin 2 years before the craziness of the shift.
Yeah.
Because it was a much more manageable scene, but it was still like, I would have described it as like a really good city to move to before you moved to New York or LA or Chicago. Like Austin was a very good middle road city where we had a decent amount of good comics that would push you to continue being better, a good amount of local stage time, but you probably couldn't make a full-time living at it here, and you would eventually need to like become the big fish in Austin and then go to one of the actual big scenes. Now Austin is starting to compete with the big scenes. So
I'd say it's already competing with the big scenes.
Yeah.
And I meant to say this earlier too, when you're talking about doing more film here. Netflix is built, or they're trying to build a new studio out here now that like they got thrown into high gear after the terrorists happened overseas.
Yeah.
And so now they're trying to build their big studio here. And then in Albuquerque, they just pumped another, I think, 20 million into their production studio out there. Yeah. So this is, I'd say this is on the same, maybe not film production wise the same level as LA, obviously, because that's what like all the nonsense is.
Someone described, I think it was Tone Bell I was talking to. He's someone that understands how Hollywood works very well. He's been an actor, a host, a comedian on a bunch of different things. And he was talking about like the thing that Austin is missing right now is the management piece. The production companies are starting to come here and the talent is coming here, but the managers and the agents are not yet here, or like not as many of them as there are in LA and New York. But he thinks that's going to change.
Just from the comedy side of things, obviously you spent a lot more time doing that recently. And this is totally outside looking in, but do you think the current business model of needing a manager and needing an agent is going to be around in 10 years?
No. I think it'll always exist because there's always going to be some comedians, actors, artists, whatever, that don't want to do that. But I think the power of the internet and the people that are willing to learn to do that for themselves are, internet for the virality and the fame part that managers used to be able to help you get, but now really don't do anything.
I was exactly going to say, like, they're just the weird middleman.
Yeah. Now they just kind of tell you to go viral and then profit off of it. Right. And then obviously the increased profit of you getting to not pay someone to tell you what to do.
Well, because then it's like, the production studios, I would imagine, don't have to go through managers and agents to get to the talent.
Right.
And any talent that's relatively serious about doing any of this like comedy, acting, whatever, as a real career, they have their email in their bio.
Yeah.
So you can you can just DM them on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like the connection part is instant, and I feel like it's one of those weird middleman things that's going to start to go away.
Yeah, I mean, I booked the OnlyFans special taping via Instagram DM.
Oh shit! With the what?
Yeah, when they first started doing those special tapings.
Oh, the LMFAOF or whatever did that. Okay.
Yeah, I was the first round that they came to Austin to shoot, and I literally had a DM in my Instagram from a casting agent, and it looked like it was fake. And the only reason I even opened it and responded, I told her this later too. I was like, girl, I'm sorry. I thought you were a bot. Like, I thought you were trying to sell Bitcoin to my followers. Because the only reason I even opened and entertained it was because she wrote it in perfect English. I literally like thoroughly read the message, and then I Googled her name and saw that she was legit and had an IMDb profile. And I was like, okay, well, this clearly is a real person. I don't know if this account is actually her, but what's the worst that can happen? And she just asked me to email her. It's not going to fuck anything up too bad. So, reached out and I ended up booking that. So
exactly. That's a perfect example.
Yeah.
But I had the same experience when I got booked for the Casadas Club out in I guess Berkeley Open in Albuquerque. I saw the message in my request, and it was the profile of like 400 followers, not a profile picture. And I was like, hey, do you want to do Casadas? I was like, who's fucking with me?
Yeah, who is this?
Who's fucking with me? But thank God it worked out. Anyway,
the original question, what were we at? We talked about the evolution of Austin comedy.
So Austin's evolving, And it's tough enough getting work here now.
Oh yeah, asking about the road.
But how did you? Because obviously experiences vary.
Yeah.
But how are you finding yourself getting road gigs?
It was a combination for me. First, I got booked to open for a tour, and that was in 2019 with Jen Fulweiler. And
very funny. You sent me her shit.
Very fun. Very funny. Yeah. She just filmed her 3rd special actually, so look out for that. But she took me on like 12 places, I think. And I just booked an extra night in every city we went to. So I would be there either a night before or a night after our show. And then I would go to an open mic or a local comedy show and try to meet the people that live there. And it's funny because like between that and having friends in LA and Phoenix that I could go stay with, that's kind of how I started building my network.
Yeah.
But then also running local shows, you'd be surprised even if you run like a shitty bar show or like I had a brewery show that was free for a long time. And it wasn't even, there was no AC and it would be like this outside and people would still pack it out. It was still packed out. We would still get to pay everyone on a free show because the tips were so good.
Yeah.
And, so it was always very fun. But like you'd be surprised how many people would take a spot like that just because they're in town looking for stuff. So booking a local show and then obviously now at Creek, booking at Creek, everyone hits me up for a spot. So I would say doing the extra thing when I'm already traveling, like whether it's for a personal thing or getting booked on that tour and just doing extra stuff to go to local mics, go to local shows, meet people, make connections that way. And then, running your own show in your hometown and actually giving people from out of town spots when they come to town. Because they'll definitely return the favor. And I've never given the spots for that reason. I'm just like, oh, they're here for a short amount of time. They seem good. Let's let them go up. But now, just because I have a booking spreadsheet, I have a list of anyone who's ever done my show and where they live. So if I go to your city, I can hit you up, Right. But yeah, those are the 2 main ways I've figured out how to do that.
When did you first start getting out of Austin to do stand-up? Like, how far into comedy were you at that
I was only like a year into comedy when Jen booked me to open, which was kind of insane for both of us to do. Yeah. But and then me and Destiny became friends around the time I started comedy in 2018. And she was living in LA. And so once we started becoming closer and everything, and she picked it back up, I would go visit her like every couple of months. So I would do the Kill Tony sign up, Comedy Store sign up, whatever other local shitty shows I could do.
Being inside that madhouse last night, the funniest part to me, so we were at, this is we're filming on a Tuesday. So last night we signed up for Kill Tony at Shakespeare's. Me and my homies went and signed up. And what I think was hilarious to me was, aside from obviously the characters in that place are hilarious.
Yeah, there's so many.
It's funny to look at. But when they start doing the first bucket pull and the guy gets up there on the mic and goes, blah, 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 you're on Kill Tony. The whole place is like,
yeah! Woo! They try to be supportive. Yeah, it's cute.
And then by the 5th one, they're like,
yeah.
Where's my fucking name? And I was just like, but I will say this, I was honestly, a part of me was kind of thinking like, well, I'd imagine that like some of these people have got to get annoyed or tired and leave. No, everybody fucking stayed.
If they signed up, they'll stay.
It's insane.
The crowd shifts like that because, I mean, imagine living here and that is your every Monday night.
Yeah.
You have to be there for like 6 hours if you sign up.
I couldn't do that every Monday night.
Yeah. It's just a lot of commitment.
Yeah. It's a lot of time on a Monday night. If I had absolutely nothing going on,
right,
then maybe. But that was the longest because we signed up. We signed up early and I got pulled for the mothership. That was fucking sick.
Hell yeah!
But after that, I ran back up there, and so we started hanging out there probably at like 7:30ish, 7:45. Show didn't actually start until like 8:30.
Yeah,
I think, and then it went until I think they stopped pulling at like 10:15. an hour and maybe an hour and a half into it, I'm like, dude, my knees hurt.
Yeah.
There are no
you gotta push someone else off of a stool for a little bit. Yeah.
I was like, fuck, man, people do this, and I'm barely about to turn 28 next month.
That's why all the Austin comics are doing jujitsu. They can fight for a seat at Kill Tony.
That's real shit.
It's crazy.
But yeah, no, it was funny watching the motivation die down.
Vulcan's gonna be more crazy if you do that.
Oh yeah, we're definitely
tomorrow.
going to.
Yeah, I was talking to one of the managers there yesterday, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is where the bullpen's gonna be." Like, it was a bullpen at Vulcan. They're going to open up the double doors and bullpen the comics that signed up.
Yeah, well, because I've only been to Vulcan once, and it was very quick last time I came in, and it's not like it looks big on camera, but it's not that big from what I remember.
I don't know. Like, I don't know how they're going to do that with the bullpen and keep 6th Street open tomorrow. Let's just put it that way. Like, knowing the number of comedians they stuff into Shakespeare's, I don't.
It's north of 250.
Yeah, like, there's a reason why they've had to shift around the waiting place for so long, and it ended up back at Shakespeare's. It's the only place big enough to hold everyone. Right. So the fact that they sold both floors of Vulcan, which good on them, obviously do that, but the fact that there isn't like the upper story of Vulcan for all of the comedians or something, it's going to be bullpen outside. I don't know. I feel like they should still use a bar or something, but
we'll see. Yeah. We'll see, because there's 2 of them tomorrow. Tomorrow night. There's 2 of them, and I'm gonna figure out how to do both of them. I don't even know if fucking Narbar is gonna happen tomorrow night because of all the rain.
Is it raining again tomorrow?
It's supposed to rain all night.
Damn.
Every night.
Here. I meant to ask you if you were okay with your first tornado experience.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine.
There weren't actually any that I saw, but it was funny watching like the comics new to Austin in the green room just freaking out, being like, "Tornado watch, what is this?" And I had to be like, "Guys, watch is fine. Warning is when you need to be concerned."
So like my mom's side of the family, they all grew up in Mobile and Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah.
And so I never like actually went to that part of the country until my grandparents had moved back there more than a few years ago, maybe like 2016, 2017-ish. And I remember we were there. I think that second night we were there, they like actually like, hey, tornadoes are happening, fucking hunker down. And my grandpa just stayed in his seat.
Yeah.
And he had his Coors Light, just kept watching the game. And I was like, I just like kneeled next to him, like, "Hey, isn't there like a tornado? Shouldn't we like be doing something?" He's like, "Boy, if it takes us, it takes us."
Oh my god!
And I was like, "All right, dude."
That's so Alabama.
I was like, "All right, bro, whatever." But then, in all fairness, because they lived in a really nice part of like. It was just barely outside of like, it was like a weird suburb that was like right outside of the city.
Yeah.
And so I remember like peeking my head outside the door, and I could see like other neighbors like sitting on their porch.
Yeah, no, we got hit. Oh my God. We got hit with so many tornadoes when I was a kid. I live like, for whatever reason, Round Rock is like the furthest south they usually get, but like several really bad ones hit up there when I was growing up. And so I remember watching some of them and having like nightmares as a kid afterward. They were so scary. I remember I was at my aunt's house for her birthday one time, so there's a ton of people there. And suddenly, like, we look outside and it's like raining so hard, it's just white. And you can kind of see some of the trees in her backyard, and the wind is so bad, they're just like this. Like, they are fully bent, over. And, you know, I was a kid, so my mom's like roping all the kids to go to the inside bathroom. We don't know what the fuck's going on. Turned out to be a straight line wind, which is like, I didn't know what it was, but I guess it's some weird pressure drop that causes a huge force of wind to come down in a cylinder, and then it just spreads as it hits the ground. And so that's why the trees were bent so hard. And it was just like these crazy gusts for a few minutes. And I remember getting out of the bathroom and just like hearing all of the adults talking about the crazy shit that happened while we were hiding in there. And there's like, you know, "Oh, so-and-so's boat flew down the street." And like, where did our patio furniture go? And then there was this one guy that was at the party just drunk. And I guess he tried to like go out on the back porch during the wind, and the door was stuck because the air pressure was different. Right. And he finally like got it to open, and it just hit him, knocked him out. And when he stood up, he goes, "Where's my beer?"
This is a great country.
That's America. These are the people that raised me.
I never asked, to be honest, but what's the logic behind sitting in the bathroom? Or like, I've heard the bathroom thing, the basement thing makes sense to me. Yeah. Obviously that makes sense. But like I've heard the bathroom thing. I've heard like the doorwell
You're
thing.
supposed to pick the innermost small room in the house, because if the house is going to get knocked over, it's most likely going to like cave around that area and not crush that. That's the theory anyway.
But like, if boats are flying down the street,
yeah,
what if a boat hits the bathroom?
It's not an exact science, obviously. But we don't have basements here. It's all rock. Like it's very hard to like get a basement here. So, yeah, obviously a basement or storm shelter underground is ideal, but you're just supposed to pick the place with the least windows and like inside of the house the most.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, if a fucking boat flies through the wall, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if we've ever really had this conversation. What was growing up like here in Austin?
Well, I grew up in Round Rock, so it was very suburban.
Okay.
But I mean, the traffic at the time made it so that Round Rock was 20 minutes from downtown Austin. So, felt like I grew up here, and I mean, I loved it. Like I looking back now, it would have been different if I was in Austin proper. It's more city here than where I grew up. Like we had a creek very close to my house, and you know, wooded areas where me and my brother could go make forts in the trees and shit like that. So it was more country in some ways than a city kid's life would have been. But you know, I got to go hunting and fishing with my dad on the weekends, and the weekends I didn't do that, I got to go to concerts in the city. Like it just nice balance. I'm really happy that I got to grow up here when I did, because I feel like I caught a lot of like the last of old Austin. Like a lot of the South by years that people talk about as the golden times now was when I was in high school and college. So I was getting to see all of those. Like I got to catch a bunch of different bands that were small at the time, but I really liked and have since blown up. Like,
what were you growing up listening to?
Fun was one that I really loved for a long time before they blew up. Walk the Moon was another one.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
I know. They really only got popular for Shut Up and Dance, I guess, but like they really blew up from that. I always like to tell people I saw Imagine Dragons as an opening act at Emo's on the East Side, which is like a 300-person alternative rock place. They were opening for AWOL Nation, if you remember that. The next time Imagine Dragons came through, they headlined what is now the Moody Center.
Oh, shit.
So it was like they booked this opening gig with AWOL Nation, and their like first big hit dropped on that tour. And so like people were encoring the opener, but it was crazy to like be like, oh, I touched their hand or whatever. And then the next time they came to town, it was like, oh, they're in the 20,000 person arena.
Did you see that All American Rejects is doing a port, not a porch tour. They're doing a, what's it called? They're like going around to different college cities and playing like the front yards of frat houses.
I love that.
And sorority homes.
Love that.
And like, like I was watching a video a couple nights ago, and like the cops had to come and shut it down, and then they had to like negotiate with the cops.
These like 45-year-old dudes being like, "It's not a phase, man. This is how I make my money."
And they had to like negotiate with the cops, like, dude, just one more song.
Yeah.
Like just one more song.
Well, I was gonna say, you'd be surprised how many like famous acts actually go perform for Greek Life. That was a huge thing at UT. Like they would brag about whatever DJ or like guy they were able to get. I think Macklemore did one time when I was there. Dom Dalla definitely came through a few times. Macklemore was the what was the thrift shop song?
Thrift shop.
Yeah.
That's funny. So, and it's cool that you grew up in that part of town, because you got to experience both city life and more, like you say, more of a country life.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, because how old are you?
30.
30? Okay. Well, whatever skincare routine you're doing, fucking keep it up. Jesus Christ. But people more or less in our age range, we kind of got the last of what a childhood should be.
Yeah, like being outside and stuff.
Yeah. Not just growing up addicted to screens, or not even...
It was a different type of screen addiction. Like we had like a lot of video game consoles, but that didn't mean we were on them all the time. Yeah.
Like I had a little flip phone.
Yeah.
But like it didn't connect to the fucking internet.
Yeah, I didn't get an iPhone until I graduated high school.
I think I got an iPhone junior year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but even then, like, in the more form, like as a child, like video game consoles or a TV in the house.
Yeah, but we were playing like Spyro the Dragon,
right?
You know,
yeah.
like Mario Kart.
Like growing up today, like, and I think it's tough to put it on the kid, obviously, because most of the time, I mean, I don't go out to eat very much, like go sit down and eat. But like the few times that I do, like you look around and it's just a bunch of parents just sitting. Maybe they're talking to themselves, or more of the time they're just on their phones.
Everyone's on them,
and then the kid is on the tablet.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's no way to fucking raise a kid. What do you do? What do you do to their little brain?
There's some that, I mean, I'm like, okay, fine. Like they'll give them educational games or whatever, but
that doesn't count.
Come on now. Yeah, I know. It's just, yeah. I mean, I find it interesting because, you know, I live with my best friend and her younger sister. And my best friend's my age, but her younger sister's 20. Oh, she just turned 23. So she's like fully Gen Z in it. And it's interesting talking to her because, like, her and her friends, like, she doesn't have very many friends that have kids yet, but just her and her friends have a lot of, we don't want to raise our kids on screens. And I was a laptop kid, or I was an iPad kid, and I don't want that for mine. Like, I really think that was a cause of my anxiety. And some of the older Gen Z kids that are starting to have kids, I'm seeing that too, where they're like, no, we're going to put them outside. We're going to put them in a Montessori school where they got to do some shit, you know?
Yeah.
But, I mean, that stuff costs money too. It's another thing.
Yeah. Well, because it's tough because you don't, I'm not a parent, but you don't want to completely cut your kid off from the internet.
Right.
That's not good.
Yeah.
But then you don't also want to base your parenting around, the kid won't shut up, instead of disciplining them.
Yeah.
We're going to, basically what you're doing is just filling their head with dopamine.
Yeah.
And their brain has no idea how to process it and has no idea how to digest it.
Right.
And then when I'm not a fucking doctor, but like the little I know about it, when your pituitary gland just gets filled with serotonin at an early age, you then start, what they're finding now is a lot of these kids are starting to grow up and their brain is constantly chasing that. And they're
dopamine
like,
addicts.
It's like they're getting born with an addiction.
Yeah.
And that's just fucking terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, dopamine addiction is real. I think every comedian has it to some extent.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's no way to prevent that. I mean, anything we're addicted to, for the most part, is likely due to dopamine. It gives us an instant hit, whether it's food, drugs, sex, screens, you know, you name it. But, yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of ways to give kids... Because kids have so much energy too. That's the other thing. Like I think there's got to be something to do with they're getting this dopamine hit, but it's not like in a physical way.
Yeah.
Like it is a dopamine hit to go run around barefoot outside and play a game with your friends.
Yeah.
And that feels better afterwards than logging off of your iPad. You know.
Yes. Well, so like it's like people that get super addicted to pornography. My theory is that because you're getting a sexual release, but you did nothing to get there. Mm-hmm. Much in the same way that you're describing, it's like, well, you're not going outside and playing. You're not exerting energy. You're not having put any kind of thought process into it.
Right.
But you're still getting entertainment. You're
and
still
the release.
Exactly.
The end release.
You eventually get the release, and then your brain is learning, we don't have to do a lot to get the end result.
Yeah.
And the self-preservation kicks in, and it's like, all right, well, this is now our life.
That's a really good explanation of it. I never actually thought of it that way, but that makes total sense because that also reinforces like I don't need to talk to the person I'm interested in. I can just be very overly sexual towards them in my advances because it works in these videos. Like that's the subtle messaging that's starting to happen is like, well, I was able to feel this way because this video worked, so this is how life is. And
yep.
Yeah, and then if you actually do somehow get a woman to sleep with you, even after being a shithead, it's not going to be like in the video, and then you're mad after that. And it's like,
provided they even knows it, because like it's what Joker says in The Dark Knight. It was like, I'm a dog chasing a car. I wouldn't know what to do with it, even if I got one. You know what I mean? So
that's crazy, though.
Like they finally get to that point, and it's like, what do I do with it?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Classic.
I don't know. That's just, these are the things that I think about at like 2 a.m. as I'm trying to sleep, and I'm going down these YouTube rabbit holes about like, because again, the short attention span that I have, I can't sit and watch an informational video, especially at 2 a.m., from a certified doctor explain to me what's going on YouTube. But if there's like a 10-minute animated infograph, I'm like, yeah, explain this to me.
Hell yeah, talking cartoons.
Yeah.
My reading level.
Yeah, I still read fucking comic
He's
books.
He's like, don't show me fucking molecules and equations. Draw a stick figure.
Yes.
I don't need stoichiometry.
I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't even know what the fuck. And I read. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
I don't need stoichiometry. I need Stan Lee now.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Oh my God. Stoichiometry is a chemistry equation that either people really love or really hate. I really love it, but it's a way to solve certain molecule equations.
Okay.
It looks like you're doing like fractions or something, but it's with the molecules. Yeah.
The only reason that's ringing a bell in my head is because in high school, I was if you couldn't tell, I was a horrible student. And the only reason, like, I was the kid that was getting D's to pass, like, just to keep going forward. And the only reason I got a D in chemistry is because different friends each semester that was in my class literally just let me copy off their homework and then just dragged me through I had a strategy where it was like I would get 90s to 100s on all my homeworks to
fail the test.
Yeah, to get my grade up to like 68, 69, fail the test, back down to 60.2, build it up, and then my teacher would like catch up. I remember I had a chemistry teacher do it, and then at the very end of my senior year, my math teacher, because I had to take 2 math classes at the end of senior year. So that
that's a sign you were not a good student.
Yeah, the entirety of senior year, I had to retake algebra 2, and I had to take
an advanced
geometry.
Math. Yeah.
Well, advanced. Yeah. No, and so
I consider algebra 2 advanced. Also, I hate that shit.
Fuck that. Yeah, and it was horrible. But yeah, so I remember the chemistry teacher he legit took me aside halfway through the semester. And he's like, "Hey, man, look, I don't want to accuse you of anything, but like, you are knocking the homework out of the park." And then you bomb your tests.
Yeah.
What's going on? I just stayed silent. And he's like, you know what? Fair enough. All right, just pass the class.
And this is why New Mexico is 51st in education.
And I went to a good school, too. I just didn't understand what the fuck was happening.
You told me, I'm like thinking about my own high school experience. I don't think I had to take math my senior year.
See, and you had you fucks running around. I
chose to take math my senior year so I didn't have to take it in college.
I hated my friends. Like, I have to take math this year because I did. That's how it sounded to me. Like, I don't know if this happens to you, but I'll get if I'm talking to somebody and I'm so uninterested in what they're saying, they turn into like the adults from the Peanuts.
Yeah.
That's what it turned into me. And for me, I was like, fuck you, dude. I fucking hate you. But anyway, so yeah, in geometry, second semester, it got so bad to where every morning because I went to a military school and I lived on the campus, right?
Okay.
So every morning from 7:15 to like 8 pretty much, I was in my math teacher's classroom going over the homework stuff. Like with him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and he was like, so what questions or what problems do you have questions on? And I'm like,
all of them.
Dude, yeah, by the time like we probably got like 2 months into the semester, he was like, he's like, you need all of it, don't you?
You're not getting it.
I'm like, what do I do, man?
The shapes aren't your thing, man.
Well, it was the shapes, and then it was the words with the shapes.
The tan, cos, sin, all that stuff. Yeah, I hated that.
There were like word problems we had to write out, and we had to like just...
Oh my God, like the proofs or whatever.
Yes,
I hated that. Yeah.
And it was like specifically you had to get the right wording, and the right phrasing, and I'm like, I'm never gonna use wording or phrasing ever in my life. What is this? And now I'm a fucking comedian.
No, literally.
You know what I mean?
But you're never wording and phrasing math problems. No one cares about.
I'm talking about pedophiles and
important things
and religion and
the funny things.
Yes,
pedophiles and religion. The funny stuff.
Yeah, they cross
None
over
of this
a lot
fucking
these days.
cost sign situation. I don't care about your 360 over there.
No, dude, I remember. I'll never forget this. He's John Surgett. That's his name. He's the reason I graduated high school, because I remember I took the final exam. Is again how bad I was. I went into it with like a 64 in the class, 65.
Yeah.
I needed a 47 to pass. I remember I took the thing and I turned the paper into him sweaty. Like, he just looked at me and I was like, I'm so sorry. I remember telling him how sorry I was. And I walk away. I go to my room and I'm just like dopamine rush, dopamine crash, right? I'm like, I'm going to bed. Fuck this. And because he told the class, like, hey, your paper is going to be graded by like 3:30. If you want to see your exam, like your result, you know, like it'll be online by 5, or you can come to like this room in this building and I'll have it ready by like 4 or whatever. I was like, all right, sounds good. I get an email at like 3:40 and he's like, I just finished grading your exam. Meet me in this building. And I was like, I'm not graduating high school.
If I'm a teacher and my student hands me an assignment and says, I'm sorry, I might quit. Like, I would be like, I'm so bad at my job. What the fuck am I doing with my life that this guy doesn't know what a fucking hexagon is? He's been speaking in English this entire year. Can't write a single paragraph about a triangle. I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it was. Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, he's calling me to meet me here and he's going to shoot me.
Yeah, so I get out of bed and I put my fucking uniform on and I sprint. And I come in sweaty. And he goes, do you want to see your grade? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, do you know what you needed to pass? And I was like, a 47. Yeah. And he looks at me disgusted. Like, this piece of shit. like this fucking piece of shit. And he had written, because he was like, he was grading all the tests and he was like putting it in this like table he had wrote out for himself. So he was like input, you know what I mean? And so he had all of it, and then he wrote my score at like the bottom corner, like do this dramatic reveal bullshit. And he flips it up, and it's 48.2.
Oh my God.
And he goes, I'll say the most gangster fucking tone. He goes, I'll see you at graduation.
Yeah!
And I was like, yes! And I fucking slapped his hand, and I just ran out. I was like, yes! I'm graduating high school. Yeah.
I'm allowed off base. Fuck yeah! Let's go.
I'm thinking, like, because there's this, I mean, I'm assuming some regular high schools had it, but, like, the super seniors, like, the kids that didn't graduate on time.
They had to, like, do another,
another semester, another year, whatever. Because I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, this school is already costing my family a lot of money. They know I suck, but they know that I'm good at like the military part of it. And I don't know how to justify this one though. I don't know, because like the only reason I got to that school was because they had this like scholarship where it paid for like more than half. Like,
that's awesome.
It paid for like 60 or 70% of your tuition for 4 years.
And so I don't know how this stuff works. Like, that was a school to prepare you to go into the military after high school?
No, so
or it was just run by.
So that's what you would think, right? Because it's a fucking military school. But really, the way they pitched it, and it's funny because like only like 18 or 20% of the students ever went into the military. It was all like college prep. It was like get you into a good college, get you into whatever, because they have really good relationships with all the major colleges in America. And for me, getting into that school, it was like, the only way I could do is I got the scholarship. I managed to get the scholarship. No idea how. Literally no fucking. I think the only reason I got it was because one of the legislators or whatever from the state is like the people that awards it, and you get one person per county that gets
to award it.
Yeah, and I actually ended up meeting the guy. And I think he was like, oh, yeah, we'll give it to this dumbass, whatever, right? You know what I mean?
Anything helps.
Yeah, exactly. So then my whole, like, again, very bad student. It was like, stay out of trouble. Like, don't, because they have like a rubric where it's like, you know, if you break these rules of different severity, everything like not cleaning your room to fucking having sex on campus, doing drugs, fucking booze, whatever, you have a grading system and it's like a fucking Hogwarts point system, to be honest with you. Anyway, but the thing that killed me was you needed a 2.5 GPA at the end of every year.
Yeah.
and that was a pain for me. Like, literally, if I were to find my transcripts, it would end at like 2.52.
Were you good at any classes? Or you just not like
English
classes? Okay.
A little bit. Like, I was cool at English.
Because I just, like, knowing you now, I would not have guessed that school was so difficult for you.
Oh, yeah. No, well, thank you. Thank you. But yeah, I sucked at math. I was horrible at science. Like, science was like a different language to me. Like, most of the time. Like, stuff like, I took chemistry. I never took physics.
I mean, science is a lot of memorization unless you're doing physics or chemistry. It's like if you're doing biology and things like that, you have to memorize a ton of shit.
Yeah, biology killed me.
And then like chemistry and physics is basically advanced math, like after a certain point.
Yeah, that stuff slaughtered me. But like English I was good at. Stellar at PE. I'm trying to think.
Really good at lunch hour.
I dropped out of art. I'll be real. I've thought about this in years. So freshman year, I was scared already because I was at a new school, whatever, all that stuff, new environment. But I remember the first day of art class, the second day of art class, because the first day was like the syllabus day. Second day of art class, the teacher was like, okay, you guys need to like, it gave us this paper and it was like, use the different like color things in the different sections, and then you have to do like there's like 5 steps to it.
Right.
And she gave us that and it went right over my head and I was too embarrassed to ask and I was like, I'm dropping out. This is stupid. And so
this.
Yeah, so after that class, I literally went to my advisor and I was like, I want to drop art, please. And she was like, why? I was like,
you go, life is meaningless.
I was like, not interested.
Cut the fucking art class. Yeah. What's this shit?
But then it was like, okay, but you have to take, it was art or something else, but like, you have to take it before you graduate high school.
Yeah, you need like an elective.
Right, and I was 14, so I was like, yeah,
they
I'll get to that
sure you're
later.
Not going to shoot up the school.
Yeah, right, yeah.
You have to do one fun class.
Yeah, right. So I was like, I'll get to it later. So senior year rolled around, and I remember me and my buddy were in the same spot where we just put off art every year, and we're fine, we'll fucking do it. And we got an A, but like, duh. And like, I remember we turned into, we were doing like this spray paint thing, and ours looked like shit. It looked like a retarded kid just grabbed 2 cans of spray paint and went like this. And the teacher was like, okay, like.
I'm just also, I love hearing about other people taking art. I never took art, but I knew who the art teacher at my high school was because my friends that took art would go smoke weed and longboard with him during the lunch break. And I just, like, that's who I picture as everyone's art teacher, is the guy that longboards and smokes weed with the seniors during lunch break. And I just remember one of my best friends growing up did the same thing as you. He put off art until senior year, so then he took it. And he was already friends with the art teacher because they longboarded and smoked weed. So it was just so funny. He was like showing me his portfolio at the end of the year. And he goes, I got the art teacher this year. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, look at my pieces. And I'm like going through them, and there's an ant somewhere, and just the bug, an ant, whether it's the whole thing is an ant or like he hid an ant somewhere. And he goes, the teacher never figured it out. And then I showed him my portfolio at the end of the year, and he goes, God damn it. Just the most hippie Texan guy. He goes, I got an A because of that.
That's fucking hilarious.
He's like, I tried to make every piece, like, because I guess they study different styles. And he's like, I tried to just make it the same picture of an ant, but in the different styles. And he wouldn't let me do it. So I had to get creative.
That's art. Art class worked.
And he was like, the teacher told me I needed to give him an explanation for it. He came up with some bullshit that made no sense. And the teacher was like, right on.
See, I couldn't.
As long as you can justify it. Certain teachers like that.
I could not be a teacher. Like, just dealing with pissant 14 to 18-year-olds.
Dude, yeah. My dad told me the story of this psychology class he had to take in college. And he said the final literally just said, why? That was the only question. It was an essay. It just said, why? And I was like, so what did you write? And he goes, I don't know. I just wrote a bunch of shit that they taught us in the textbook, and I got 100. And he goes, but the guy next to me that wrote because and turned it in also got 100.
Fair enough.
Yeah. He was like, you just needed to answer the question, apparently. He could have literally put anything. And that was the ultimate psychology test. imagine being in a college class and just, fuck it, I guess this is the answer for my final.
Yes, no, I would that way. Yes, I lived that. I don't have to think. That was me. That was me. Well, because I remember, like, because it was all college prep. Like, that was it. So everything was, like, super advanced.
Yeah, like the AP credits and stuff.
Well, not even, so they didn't do advanced classes. They just, like, moved you up to the next level.
Yeah.
They, like, just, like, and then if you could take, like, if you were smart enough to take college classes, you would take college classes in high school. So, like, you'll have, like, 1 or 2 a year, maybe.
Yeah.
But you'll have fucking seniors graduating with their associate's degree.
Yeah. Yeah, we had that some too.
You know what I mean? So, like, I got my ass kicked all through high school, scholastically, but then I got into college, and I slept through half my shit, and got like a 3.5.
That's awesome.
At the same school. And I remember just getting like, there was a teacher I was really cool with. His last name was Cheney. Super cool guy, comic book dork like me. And I remember he had pulled me into his office one day, and he was like, because his office, like, he had some like regular books, but like, most of his office were just all like graphic novels. And shit. And he was like, if you maintain an A in my class, feel free.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I was like, so I read like all of like Neil Gaiman's Sandman, read a bunch of old school Punisher, Spider-Man. It was the shit, right?
That's awesome.
And I remember we maintained a friendship into college, and then I remember one of my years in college, I like stopped by his office. I was like, dude, what the fuck? And he's like, what now? I'm like, you saw my grades in high school. I did fine in your class.
Right.
But like in every other class, I was getting mollywopped, just getting destroyed. I don't do dick right now, and I'm getting a 3.5.
Right.
And he like sat down and explained about how like there's a lot more, I guess at that school, there was a lot more leeway with the curriculum because they're like super in like with the New Mexico government, so they could basically crank their high school curriculum up to 15 and make it super hard to prep you for college.
And then college
is standardized like through some other thing. And it was like, yeah, so, dude, so you're basically taking regular college. Like, it's a junior college, dude.
Right.
So you're taking, like, regular college that everyone else is doing. They just beat the piss out of you for the first 4 years. Aren't you glad they did that? And I was like, no! Not really.
Honestly, no. Kind of pissed.
Yeah. So I'm glad that, like, because I got good, like, soft skills out of like time management and how to, like, I'm really glad that I learned how to not be an asshole at that school. No, for real.
That's a skill a lot of people don't learn in high school.
Yeah.
They learn how to be an asshole a lot of the time.
Well, a lot of people there learn how to be an asshole, that's for sure. But I watched them ahead of me.
Right.
Because there's like a corps of cadets and like a ranking structure. Like, you had fucking like 17-year-olds in charge of 14-year-olds.
Yeah,
all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Rank. Yeah, I haven't heard that word in a long time. That one. Yeah.
Rank. Yeah.
And so I saw all of them, and I made a lot of mistakes, but like I saw them ahead of me, and I was like, oh, they're a dick. Just don't do that.
Yeah.
I guess figure out how to not. So I learned a lot of personable like soft skills like that.
Right.
And got all of the like just like the real like power tendencies. Like I don't have like the ego.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying I don't have. I want to be a comedian.
Right.
There's an ego in here somewhere.
But it's a different.
Yeah, it's not like I'm better than everybody else.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I got a lot of that out of me at the time, and
Yeah.
I learned how to manage my time properly, and I managed like how to prioritize like things I have to do or like what's important happening soon or whatever that type of shit. So I'm really happy about that. But my fucking God. When I walked, and all my friends knew how retarded I was. Like they all did. And so, because I spent all my free time, I was just hanging out with my buddies. And I wouldn't have traded that for fucking anything.
Right.
But like hanging out with all my buddies, playing video games, eating Chinese food, eating pizza. That's all we did.
Yeah.
And then when it came to school, they were magically okay somehow.
Yeah.
And I was like, I spend 90% of my time with you people.
Yeah.
I thought we were all going down with the ship.
I thought we failed together.
Yeah.
This isn't brotherhood.
Yeah, right, exactly. Right, yeah. So, like, when I, like, graduated and I got my diploma on stage, they were like, yes! He fucking did it. Yeah. But, yeah, it was interesting. I don't even know where the fuck we got with this, but, like, it was interesting. Like, I didn't have, like, a lot of time to fuck off as a kid.
Yeah.
Which was nice. And I think that's something I'm most like really happy about.
I mean, that's the thing that, getting back to like the iPad stuff we were talking about with kids, like, everyone, I understand why people now say keep your kids busy. Like, give them something to do. Put them in sports, put them in music, put them in a thing that they like that is going to give them something to do. And I think that's why a lot of people are just putting them on iPads now. Because it's so easy for kids to be like, I don't want to learn piano. I don't want to play soccer. I don't want to go do that. Like, one week they want to do it, the next week they want to quit. I was like that as a kid for a lot of
kids
things.
Are like that in general.
So it's like you either feel like a bad parent for forcing them to do a thing that they say they sometimes want to do, but not all the time. Or you just don't force them to do it, but then feel bad that they're bored and they need some other shit to do. So it's like, there's a balance that needs to happen there.
Yeah, I remember learning in one of the Crim Jade classes that I was taking in college about the number one way to keep crime and youth down is after school activities.
Right.
And the model was based off of, it was surprisingly realistic. It was based off a regular kid going in a middle class to lower middle class, going to school from like 8 to 3:30, and then single mom doesn't come home till 6 p.m.
Right.
So like the most opportunity for violent crime happens between that afternoon hour,
right.
And then as it like proliferates there, it bleeds into the after hours, and then it starts taking away from school and all that kind of stuff. And it was like, the places that have the most opportunity for kids to spend their time outside of school, those are the places that have the less violent crime. But then you have a place like, I mean, it's really bad, obviously, places like Detroit and Chicago, parts of New York, south side of LA, all that. But like living in Albuquerque, like there's not shit. Like we don't have, like there's cuts happening, and they're starting to bring it up a little bit, because the mayor re-election is happening this year and the governor's next year. So there's a little bit more funding going into the schools right now. Because, I mean,
of course,
politics,
Yeah.
But there's really nothing there's not a lot to do in New Mexico in general. Like, there's a lot of, like, if you're into outdoorsy shit, have at it.
Right.
Like, there's a lot of hiking to do. You have to drive a little bit if you want to go to a decent fishing spot. You really have to drive to get to a good hunting spot. But, like, casual things for kids to do, like there was a Boys and Girls Club when I was growing up, close to the downtown area, but I think that it like closed down, reopened to something else, and went through that cycle. I think it's closed down right now. And then like after school, like I don't think there are any after school like places that you pay for. You know what I mean? For like people or kids in middle school, certainly none of that for high school.
Right.
And the ones for elementary school are like super fucking expensive.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do with kids in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where we're number one per capita, we're number one in auto crime, and that's everything.
That's what you guys were saying. Get your car stolen, come to Albuquerque.
Yeah, for real, because it's a running joke now that it's like if you leave your car somewhere for too long, your catalytic converter is going to get fucking jacked. Oh yeah. God. So like the auto theft, we're number one per capita. We're number one or number three in what do they call it? It's not adolescent crime. It's like teenagers committing crime.
Okay.
We're like number one or number three in that. Homicide is going up 125% every year for the last 6 years. Oh yeah. Like, okay, so there's this video that went like viral in New Mexico, like I think 9 months ago. So, I don't know if Austin does it. Does Austin have its? Because I noticed you could drive through 6th Street, which is kind of crazy to me. But do they ever block off 6th Street?
They used to. That's the new thing.
Okay.
You're not mistaken in remembering they used to close it on the weekends. They used to close it at 9 p.m. Thursday through Sunday nights, and they started leaving it open after the New Orleans tragedy on New Year's, because they feel that leaving the street open to car traffic will diminish the street fights among pedestrians.
Wait, didn't the New Orleans thing happen where the guy drove his
through
car
a barricade that blocked off a closed street and hit pedestrians? So they were like, let's allow cars back on the pedestrian street. Yeah.
The fuck is going on?
The logic seems skewed to me also. And when they first started that, like now, I'm sure you've seen on 6th Street, they've got like permanent barricades out into the street a little bit. Those weren't up when they first started doing it. It was just like flimsy fences. So like the drunk bitches would just knock them over and cross the street anyway. So then they closed 6th Street every weekend still pretty much because it would get knocked down. For the first 2 months they tried to do it. Now they seem to be trying to stick to it a little bit more, but I still notice the street having to get shut down half the time. But
also because or in Albuquerque, our downtown it's like maybe half of yours.
Yeah.
And it's all on Central, and they close it from like 2nd Street up to 7th, I think, around there. And so people can like wander and whatever. So what happened though is, and they'll have like, it's funny, they'll have like firefighters down there, like just posted with the fire engine, and they'll have like a couple cops like scattered throughout the whatever. But anyway, this video that came out a couple months ago where this guy, like it was 2 guys here and 2 guys here, and they're like walking up on each other. This guy right here pulls his gun, shoots at them, misses. They start running away, and then I'm sorry, this guy did that. So this guy shoots, misses, they start running away. One guy takes off. The other guy pulls out his gun and starts shooting it like this. So he's like looking this way and just shooting like that.
Life isn't a movie, people.
All of this is happening in front of cop cars and nothing happens. They never caught the guys that were shooting. They never whatever. And everyone's like, oh, what happened? Like, did anyone get hurt? Whatever. And the comments actually like, no. And I remember going through it, and this one guy was like, yeah, I got shot in the leg. And then they were like, it says like 17 comments.
Right.
So I opened like, oh, you're lying. This dude
posted
a picture of him in the fucking hospital where he caught one in the quad, and he put under the comment, he was like, yeah, because we have a nightclub that has like a balcony. We have like 2 of them, and he's I was having a cigarette and I caught one in the leg.
Holy shit. I mean, that sucks.
So do you want to come to Albuquerque to do some shows?
I mean, it sounds the same as downtown Austin, honestly. I have a very similar story of me and Dean Stanfield almost getting shot while we were buying shawarma. It's like, it just happens in a city sometimes.
Yeah.
But, we need to, they're too busy addressing the real crimes such as marijuana. So...
Wait! Aren't you happy that it's now?
I'm so glad I'm safe from the harmful effects of THC.
You're a crazy white lady, and if you smoke too much weed, you might go fuck a Mexican or a black guy. Allison.
Is that why they want us to stop smoking weed?
Well, that's where that propaganda originally came from.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like, because I've watched a lot of Joe Rogan in my time, and turns out this shit's real. But yeah, so like way back in the day, it was before.
They're like, that shit teaches you empathy with other races. They can't learn it. They can't understand that there's humans with other skin colors. Keep them separate.
But so it was before, because the peak of it, not the peak, but like the culmination of a lot of it was the Reefer Madness movie. But before that, what had happened, so I'm going to butcher the shit out of this.
Hell yeah.
But so back in the late 1800s, mid to late 1800s, they had hemp, and they figured out that hemp was this like universal crop.
Yeah.
That was everything from like building materials to paper.
Super renewable.
It's cheap to grow, biodegradable. It's like the miracle fucking whatever. And there was at the time, it's a magazine that's around right now. It's not Popular Mechanics. It's Popular Science or something like that.
Yeah.
Or Science Magazine or whatever. It's some like really famous science.
Featured hemp, right?
Yeah. So back in like the 1800s when that magazine was still around, it had like on the cover of it was like the miracle crop or whatever. But anyway. So I forget the guy's name, but the guy who had ran the major paper textile mills was like, this is going to put us out of fucking business.
Yeah.
And they're figuring out how to drive THC from this, and now they're making a drug out of it. So he went to Congress and was like, hey, this is bad. We need to get rid of this. So they banned hemp from being used broadly, and they switched everything to, they kept doing everything to the paper mills.
I knew there was a paper mill lobby thing,
Yeah, and then so flash forward late 1800s into the 1900s, a bunch of propaganda starts coming out about the effects of THC, and it was like, and this is what you see in Reefer Madness. I haven't seen the whole thing. I've seen clips of it, but it's like, you've got like women jumping out of buildings.
Yeah.
You've got dudes getting super
people
violent.
acting like they're on PCP.
Right, no, for like bath salts and shit. Yeah. So you have these people acting super out of pocket, throwing themselves out of buildings, getting really angry at each other, getting violent with each other, and then there's propaganda like posters and pictures that you can find where they're telling people like, keep your wife away from it because they're going to start commingling. Let's put it the nice way.
Commingling is crazy.
Commingling's not the word they used. Commingling is not the word they used.
I know, but still, holy shit.
So yeah, it was because obviously this is like the height of the segregation stuff, Jim Crow, all of that. So they were so that was a big part of the propaganda piece at the time. And so what's crazy to me, and I was talking to Riley about this yesterday before we did the podcast. So there's still like a bunch of Republicans, even in New Mexico. Like there's this guy, his name's Mark Ronchetti. He had ran for governor, failed, and the only reason people know about him because he was like the weatherman, like growing, like he was like the dude. You know what I mean? So So he was like the fucking guy.
Yeah.
Young hotshot dude, came and did really well at the station. Everyone knew him.
Right.
Local guy, like local celebrity type of thing. But then he starts running. Well, he ran for Senate, failed miserably. And then it was funny because then he ran for governor 2 years later, and very obviously blue city. So people are like a bunch of there are these memes going around, and then they turned it into stickers and just put the stickers all around the city. And it was like, Mark Ronchetti drinks dog cum.
Oh my God. Yo, New Mexico advertises like Europe. That's crazy. Yeah. No holds barred.
Or it was like Mark Ronchetti, one of my favorite ones was Mark Ronchetti uses a spatula to flip a tortilla. Bad for tortillas, bad for New Mexico. Or Mark Ronchetti orders...
People in the North would never understand how insulting that is.
Yeah. Or like, because obviously green chili and red chili is a big thing in New Mexico, so it's like...
he only eats red.
No, Mark Ronchetti orders his chili on the side. Bad for New Mexico, bad for chili. But anyway, so he's got a podcast, and I was watching one of the episodes because the guy who he had on that's running for governor, I'm getting him scheduled to do mine when I get back.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and they've got some far right views.
By the way, is this a good time for me to announce I'm running for governor of New Mexico also?
You're better than what we have right now. Hey, as long as you promise to be as the next female governor to not go around grabbing people's dicks, I think you'll be okay.
I thought people liked that though.
Well, turns out people in New Mexico love it until it happens. That's all I'm saying. Because she got into a huge scandal where I guess she was a little...
Men say they want to be treated like women until we let them. We're just trying to make you feel like a princess, dude. What happened to a little rub and tug over there? Just trying to be friendly.
It's a little pep. A little pep in your step.
God.
But yeah, so...
That's crazy.
So I was watching this episode, and they were like... this fucking moron, he goes... I'm trying to get as close to verbatim as I can, but he basically said that it's healthier... It's better for you to drink beer every day than it is to smoke a joint every day. And that's what killed me, is he specifically said a couple of beers a day, and then he said a joint.
The internet calls that boy math.
Yeah, no, the internet calls that retarded.
Yeah, that is retarded.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah, no, the science disagrees heavily with that.
Like, every single... fine, stay away from the podcast, whatever, but every single study that has ever come out that compares, well, that's not heavily influenced by lobbyists and all that stuff. Honest reporting and honest, like, scientific deliberation shows that ingesting alcohol on a regular basis is degrees worse.
Incredibly bad for you.
Than THC.
Yeah.
I've never... Well, actually, that's not true. I smoked, like... Because I used to have a... I don't know what the fuck happened to it, but I had my pen. And one night, I just got way too fucking blasted on it. And I woke up with a headache. And I was like, man, this fucking sucks.
You can get a THC hangover sometimes.
But that was also a 98.9 THC pen.
Right. You know, and that was like a once in 100 times occurrence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you smoke a fucking joint and you wake up the next morning well rested.
You're fine, yeah.
Now, I know that, like... There's stuff coming out now that THC can it can mess with your REM cycles.
If you want to get dorky, I know a lot of stuff about this.
No, please.
I mean, one of my clients used to be a sleep doctor. First of all, any doctor or nurse or anything like that I've done any marketing work with, they will all tell you alcohol is worse.
Yeah.
Smoking cannabis does obviously affect your liver and your lungs. You're still smoking.
Yeah.
But in terms of, deaths related to the product, overall effects of the THC versus the alcohol is worse.
Well, especially considering, I'm sorry to cut you off, but like with just the basic effects of alcohol gives you confidence. It's the weirdest thing because it's a depressant.
Right.
Like definitionally, it's a depressant. But it's a slang now. Well, liquid courage. So you're more outgoing. You can drive.
Right.
Right? You can whatever. You smoke a joint and a half and you're like, DoorDash.
I'm chilling. Yeah.
DoorDash.
I mean, if you want to get on like some of the things we've hit on, like both of them are going to raise your dopamine levels because they relax you a little bit. But alcohol is much more of a dopamine exciting thing. I think THC is more serotonin, which is calming, right? Alcohol is proven to destroy your gut microbiome. Even if you're drinking it once a week, the bacteria in your gut that delivers and manages all of your other hormones that manage everything is in your gut. If that's being regularly destroyed by alcohol, the rest of your hormones are probably off. With THC, what the sleep doctor told me was THC specifically does mess with your REM cycle. So if you do it to relax before bed, try to do it give yourself some time after that before you actually go to sleep.
Minutes, right?
45 minutes, an hour, something like that. Yeah. And he did say, the other cannabinoids, CBN, CBG, CBD, like all those other ones that are coming out as helpful since they're less psychoactive and more physically active. They don't really seem to do much on your sleep. But alcohol, beyond affecting your gut health and blood sugar and all of the things I already mentioned, it also really screws with your sleep. So people that try to have a little nightcap, you're not actually sleeping. No. You're passing out until you've worn off the alcohol. And that's why you usually wake up in the middle of the night, have to go pee. And then the second half of your sleep feels really restful. You weren't sleeping the first half. You were passed out. Yeah. You weren't recovering. People don't realize that a lot, like 98% of your body's recovery and detox happens when you're asleep. That's when the liver is able to clean things up. That's when your brain detoxes all the bullshit throughout the day, like literally toxins. That's why you wake up and hopefully poop and pee in the morning. Right. It's getting rid of all the toxins. It's the only time your stem cells are really released to do repair work. They're kind of constantly being released, but like the big usefulness of them happens at night because everything else is resting. It's really hard for your body to repair itself if you're not sleeping or sleeping enough. So, people who are trying to lose weight or get more fit or anything like that, if they're just going hard in the gym, and even if they're going hard at the gym, doing the sauna, doing the cold plunge, doing a good diet, all those other things, if they're not sleeping enough, they might just gain weight, honestly. Their recovery is so important.
Well, I forget I think it was Huberman or somebody I was listening to about the importance of sleep. And they're like, if they could take the effects of sleep and put it into a pill, it would be the best and most selling like PED around. It would probably be illegal.
Weight loss, stress management, liver detox, brain detox, blood sugar regulation, memory enhancement, physical muscle recovery, joint recovery, skin recovery, like you name it, anything that needs to be repaired, those things happen when you're asleep.
So I don't know how much you know about this, but like, it's weird. So with sleep, it recovers, gets the body back together, detoxes. But then one of the number one symptoms of clinical depression is oversleeping.
Right.
Just much like with overhydrating, you can drink too much water.
You can overhydrate. I almost wonder like if the sleeping too much with depression is like a symptom of it, not like it's not causing the depression, it's a symptom of the depression, right? Yeah. So I would consider it probably a hormone imbalance still. Right. Okay. So the way I like to describe a lot of stuff too, I just had this cortisol talk with my friend the other day. Like everyone hears cortisol being thrown around now as the stress hormone, right? But what a lot of people don't really think about is like what that means for the other hormones in your body. And with hormones, it's all about like like they're all just little balance beams, basically. If certain hormones are up, other hormones get repressed naturally. That's how it works. Right. And so we all know the phrase fight or flight. It should be like fight, flight, freeze. And then we have rest and digest. I think we need to add reproduce to that, because you need to be relaxed to be in a place to like get sexy, right? And it's because, well, not because, but that is caused by like if your stress hormone is up, you're not gonna be excited to have sex right then. Like if you're scared, you're not, unless there's something really wrong with you, I guess. Some people have a scare kink, I guess. But most of the time, well, let's not say scared. Let's say stressed. You're running from a lion. You're not thinking about fucking right now, you know? Yeah. And so if your stress hormone that should only be released in small doses is suddenly being released consistently or at multiple times throughout the day, it consistently is suppressing your testosterone, your estrogen, whatever it is that you need as a woman or a man to feel better. And so if your stress is so high and your testosterone is super low, you're not going to have energy. I mean, you're a man, you know how testosterone feels. That's the main sex hormone for men and women. We have more testosterone than we do estrogen and progesterone. We just have more estrogen than men do. Right. But testosterone affects men and women's mood, sleep, energy levels so much. And so if your stress is constantly up and your body's kicking cortisol around and out every single day, you're not gonna have high libido. Sleep is gonna be more difficult, so you're gonna have to do more of it. And yeah, you're not gonna want to like have sex or do anything else that testosterone makes you feel good about doing. Right.
Well, in health, and I'm glad you brought all this all came up, because I want to talk to you a lot about health. We get to a lot last time. Why, outside of the obvious, but like, why does health play such a key role in your life? Like, what made you so, like, I need to be in tune with this. I need to make this a core part of my life. You're highly invested in it.
Yeah.
Like, when did that switch happen and why?
I've definitely always been very like into fitness stuff to some degree. Like I did gymnastics and volleyball as a kid, and then when I quit those for theater in high school, my dad was like, okay, well, you have to work out with me a few times a week. He's an ex-football player, so he was already lifting weights, running. So I would just do that with him a few times a week. Now, like before I tell that whole story, like now I would say I really like it just because I do genuinely like knowing how my body works. And like I have to live in this thing. It's the only one I have. Yeah. I may as well do as many things as possible to make it feel and look as good as it can, right? Like this is what I have. I can't be envious of other people for what they have or what I don't have. Like this is what I'm working with. Let's make it work as well as possible, right? Yeah.
Did you always feel like that?
No. So getting back to high school, moving into college, I just had something like I was kind of the opposite student as you in a lot of ways. Like I didn't necessarily
I wasn't a fucking dumbass.
I didn't necessarily like school, but I have a very good memory. So I was a straight A student, but I was scared for college because I was super involved in a ton of things in high school. I was president of the theater club. I was in the honor society. I did like a bunch of volunteer work. Just a bunch of things. And I was really scared going to college. My mom kind of scared me a little bit because she was like, your dad was just like you. He'd never had to study in high school. And then he flunked out of college because he didn't know how to study. And so I was like, I'm just going to go to class my first semester freshman year. I'll go to class and I'll go to like football games, but I'm not going to like do extracurriculars. I'm not going to add too much on my plate because I don't know how to study. I'm just going to do this. So I went from being a very busy, kind of popular kid to like being a small fish at UT who decided not to rush Greek life and, all these other things that could have made me more friends. Definitely got pretty depressed, compared myself to a lot of different people, fell into some eating disorder patterns. I don't have to like tell the whole story, but I've shared a longer version of it before, but it's, I was pretty much like in a very restrictive, like I was counting my calories and kind of using some knowledge about macronutrients and all that stuff, but like I wasn't letting myself eat more than 1,200 calories a day. I had to work out a certain amount every day. If I didn't, I'd feel like shit, yada, yada. I realized that wasn't healthy. And my parents like obviously noticed something was wrong too and tried to talk to me, and I didn't really want to listen.
I just want a quick question about that. So what year was this?
That would have been 2013.
Okay. So how much of this, looking back on it, how much of that was your environment? How much of it was self-imposed, like stuff you're coming up with in your head?
A lot of it was self-imposed.
And then, like, did social media play a role in things? You hear about that a lot. I mean, it came up in the fucking. Do you remember when the Facebook, the
anorexia stuff?
Yeah, when the Facebook thing came out, and the I forget her name, but the lady was testifying in front of Congress, and she said like all the data stuff, and then it got no coverage, but like the back half of it, she was like, yeah, they have data on how this is affecting women between the ages of 13 and 28, and how it's affecting, and they specifically brought up eating disorders.
Yeah.
And they're doing nothing about it.
Well, I saw like it's so weird to like go back and describe some of this to people now, because you have to keep in mind, like, when you're in a mindset like that, you're clearly not mentally healthy. I for sure had some sort of like serotonin imbalance as well. So it's like, I was in it and like it felt good to like starve myself in some sense, but I didn't think of it as starving myself. I thought I was being healthier, like I rationalized it. And I was like genuinely learning a lot of real science about how food worked. Like I never like to like blame anything on anyone, and I don't even like to give this detail, but I do know for sure like I was already not very confident in how I looked in high school. Like I never really dated in high school. I was always like fit. Like I look at pictures of myself now and I was like, you're cute. What the fuck? You know, like what, you know, but you know, young girls are always immature in that way, I guess, or unaware in that way. And so I was already like pretty insecure in high school, and I started dating a guy that was like my like child, like we were like each other's childhood crush, and it just never happened until senior year. We went to prom together and I was so excited, and found out that he was like sleeping with 3 other girls, and ended up dating the one that was a bodybuilder. And so I definitely think that influenced a little bit of me trying to like learn about what's this bodybuilding shit. And I just did it. And I was not sleeping with him. I was a virgin. So that really hurt, you know? And so, you know, I think that was like, I was already insecure and looking for ways to change how I was eating. And then I got that news and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to get as hot as possible, and just kind of did it in an unhealthy way. And, you know, my parents noticed I was not eating enough because I was too skinny. And my mom like talked me into eating like one of my favorite Christmas cookies when I came home for Christmas. And it was like, I just describe it as like my brain realized I had been starving myself, and it was like the opposite reaction of like, oh, I ate too many cookies now, and it turned into one of those cycles where it was like binge restrict. I ended up getting out of that because I binged too much one time, and I never wanted to make myself get sick. I like had to get sick. Like I binged so much one time, I had to get sick. I was in so much pain. And when I got done getting sick, I just like, my head felt weird. I was kind of like, what the fuck? I'm going to go take a nap. And I woke up from the nap and I went to like wash my face, and just all of the blood vessels in my eyes were burst. Like literally all the whites of my eyes were just turning red. And I was like, what the fuck did I do to myself? It was like puffy. And I just started crying, and I called my mom, and I was like, okay, you and Dad were right. I'm not doing great. Here's what just happened. But I promise, like, I didn't want to throw up. This was never my MO. But like, now that this happened, like, I understand I have a problem. And can I just call you if I feel like I'm going to starve or binge again? And she was like, yeah. And I never went to therapy for it. For some reason that happened, and I called my mom, and we have a good enough relationship that I felt like just, if I had to call her and tell her that happened again, I would have been so fucking disappointed in myself and so embarrassed, like, and honestly apologetic to her. I'm like, nothing about my childhood should have signaled that I'm going to put them through something like this, where I have to call them and say I'm hurting myself because I'm sad about how I look. How fucking dumb is that? You know, like, it seems like such a stupid problem to deal with. But yeah, that was just like a turning point. And I started studying like what actually is a way that I can eat to where I'm unraveling this like eating disorder where I've been so obsessed with a number of calories for 2 years. How can I get myself away from that but trust myself enough that I'm not going to go binge on whatever I'm allowed to eat. Right. And so I found this program that's called a Whole30, which, you know, it's another program with rules. But what I liked about that one was it was basically like strict paleo, meat, veggies, potatoes, healthy cooking oils, eat as much of it as you want for 30 days. And I liked it because you weren't allowed to count calories, and it forced you to like focus on the quality of the food and how you felt after eating it. And I just knew I was like so disconnected from my body because like I grew to like the feeling of starving, or, you know,
that's one thing I was going to ask, because you hear about like any type of like, if a broader sense, like self-harm, where you get a dopamine hit.
It feels good. It feels like you achieved. It feels like you achieved something. Yeah, it feels like, oh, I could have had that slice of cake, but I didn't, and I'm gonna look better tomorrow for it. And it's like that's not how you go about it at all. And I mean, I don't know how much my hormones would have still been fucked up had I not gone through that, but like the unraveling of figuring out my hormones for years after that was a big thing. And so I just, quite honestly, the interest in science was personal from the get-go. Like I wanted to know how my body worked. And now I kind of look at it as like my responsibility to know how my body works, and like how can I sit here and complain about something that's happening with my body if I didn't first go try to understand why it's happening and what I can do about it.
How old were you when you had that conversation with your parents?
I was probably like 20 when I had to call my mom, 2021. And then, yeah, I was 20 or 21. And then the Whole30 is what, like, I mean, it sounds crazy, but like I was eating so erratically that my seasonal allergies were terrible. My acne was always bad as a teenager. Like my cycle was irregular. Like there were so many things that were not good. And I did the 30-day challenge and my acne was gone. Yeah. My allergies were gone. I felt so good. I was sleeping well. I had energy again. I didn't even realize that I didn't have energy. And so I was like, I'm going to kind of just follow these rules for a little bit. And as I learned more about the Whole Foods movement, as they would probably call it today, or the biohackers, like I'm working the biohacking conference this week. They literally call it that.
It's just eating the good things.
It's like, it's learning how your body works and hacking it,
That's
right?
How processed all our foods have become.
Yeah. Like if you tell some, like, our foods have become so processed that if I post a photo of a steak and a potato and some broccoli, people are like, "Ooh, fancy night," and I'm like, "No, it's a Tuesday. Like this is a normal meal."
Yeah, that's how you should
like
be.
That's
eating.
how it should. Yeah, that's how we should be eating.
Did you have any self-awareness when you had that conversation with your mom about how? Do you have any self-awareness about how self-aware you were being? Because like coming out of any type of addiction is hard.
Yeah,
just inherently, but having the confidence, the security, the self-awareness, all of that to tell someone you trust about what's going on and how you're feeling. Like everything wrapped in that package.
Yeah.
All of that is hard.
Yeah.
And then you're doing it as a 20-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I guess in some way, I don't know. I've always just been like such a perfectionist too, though, that like, I think it was like, right before that happened, I obviously knew something was already wrong. Like I was feeling like shit. I wasn't happy in some aspects, right? And I think like, I don't know if I would have called her if I had just puked. Like I think the fact that I literally did end up accidentally hurting myself, and I didn't even mention this part, holy shit. That happened, oh gosh, that was junior year, I guess, because... that happened, and I was the lead in a new play that year, and my character, it was a play set during the Dust Bowl, and it was supposed to be like a play about how difficult that time was, but how difficult it was to be like a woman managing a house where the parents were killed in it. So you're like the sisters managing the younger sibling, and just kind of like how difficult it was and how it split families and all that stuff. And my character in the play got a needle abortion, and like there was a scene where a knitting needle abortion, at like the type of abortion that they would have to give back in the day.
I've never heard of that.
Stick a knitting needle up there, like a clothes hanger.
What the?
I know that's like a switch, but I promise this is related.
I just didn't know that happened.
Yeah, I was the lead in that play during that time, and we had just started rehearsing that scene and like how we were gonna do it. Like obviously people didn't see anything, but there was a point where I screamed, and like we had kind of did this shit with the lights or whatever. And so I literally was rehearsing the scream and like how I'm gonna be laying there and making it look crazy and stuff. And I had to fucking go to rehearsal with my eyes bust out. Like it looked like I had just been beat or something. Yeah. And I just told the directors it was from screaming at rehearsal. Like I was so embarrassed to tell like anyone else what actually happened. Only my mom knew for a long time. But I mean, you know, again, like I realized I had a problem then. I never thought it would lead me down a path of being like genuinely very interested in and loving learning about gut health and stem cells and hormones and how all of those things we create by what we are ingesting mentally, environmentally, physically, as well as those things create us in turn. But it's like we have to be the one to first make the decision of what things we're ingesting so that the things that can create us are working their best. And that's kind of how I look at it now.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that the Whole30 is what it was called.
Yeah.
It's interesting, like, you're describing, it's weird you would say that, today, and a lot of people might hear, like, oh, that's such a restrictive diet, or that's a whatever. It's like, no, dude, like, that's whole, like, that's food.
It's food.
It's food.
I mean, I really pretty much still eat that way. It's a little more restrictive in that they don't want you to use any, like, added sweeteners, so, like, even honey or agave. They're, like, just no added sugar for 30 days. You can eat fruit, obviously.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I pretty much eat that way. You can't have grains on it either, like including rice and pasta, but like I don't eat gluten, so it's like
right.
I eat rice now, but
as I was going to ask, is the no gluten thing, is that because of...
That's based on testing after I did that stuff.
What kind of testing?
So just self-testing. The Whole30 cuts out like a bunch of major allergens. It cuts out soy, peanuts, gluten, and dairy, and those are like 4 of the main allergens. Tree nuts can also be added to that, but it's not cut from the program. So not eating those for 30 days kind of resets your gut to be baseline. And there's obviously other foods that you can be sensitive to, but those are the main ones. So for me, I was like, I feel so fucking good after this. I don't want to add any of those things back in just yet. But I reached out to a girl that was a health blogger that I was friends with. And because also keep in mind, like during all of this, I'm documenting it on my fitness Instagram. Like I had a fitness Instagram where I'm trying to figure stuff out. I'm connecting with other micro influencers in Austin. We would get together and have dinner once a month and talk about things. And a lot of those women had autoimmune diseases, had to know all this stuff about hormones and gut health and whatever. So I reached out to one that was like a certified dietitian and was like, hey, I think I might have some food sensitivities because I cut these allergens for 30 days and my acne went away. My digestion's better. Like I'm sleeping better. Like I think one of these things might be an issue for me. So she gave me a protocol to reintroduce those foods back into my diet.
What did that
and
look like?
You just do it one at a time. So like I know the protocol now. Like typically you would start with goat cheese or goat milk because it's the least reactive of all those things. And if you're allergic to dairy, it'll re-clear out of your system in like 3 days. So you start with the things that are the least likely to be reactive. But if you are, they'll clear out fast and you can reset to base again. So it was like, start with goat cheese, and if that's cool, add regular cheese, and like just kind of like every 3 days, add a new thing if you want and see how you feel. And if it makes you feel worse, then you might be sensitive to it. Right. So gluten was very obviously not my thing. Yeah. My seasonal allergies came right back.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm most curious about too with comics, that is I do my best to stay healthy. I haven't been great about it the last few months. I just haven't. But how do you stay healthy with the lifestyle that you're leading?
Meal prep. I prioritize sleep over everything. People are going to get mad at me for this. They think I work out 6 times a week. It's more like 2, and then I walk a lot. If I'm not sleeping enough, I'm not working out. Like I'll lift weights 2 or 3 times a week.
So are you just like after a show or after a whatever? It's like, hey,
no,
typically
like usually
just
before a show.
Deuces, I'm out of here.
No, usually before a show. Oh, you mean for sleep?
Yeah, for sleep.
Well, I'm lucky. My day job's on my computer and I have control over the schedule, so I'll sleep in if I need to stay out late. But yeah, I mean, meal prep. my biggest thing now is like stress, like any type of stress is going to harm your health. So like obviously gluten is a stress for me. Like gluten is a stress on my body. I'm not going to consume it. So as long as I know I can get food that doesn't have gluten in it, I'll be okay, right? For me, that also means, yes, I meal prep. Yes, I cook breakfast at home. Yes, I try to eat as much at home as possible. But if it's more stressful for me to try and squeeze meal prep in this afternoon versus grab shawarma downtown where I know that's also just rice and beef, I'm going to go fucking buy the shawarma. Is it cooked on vegetable oil? Yeah. Is that the best? No. But the rest of the nights of the week, I'm eating at home, you know, with avocado oil. So it's like...
Yeah.
This, like, there's some I'm gonna be dealing with biohackers all weekend. They will talk shit to me for eating at a food truck because it is cooked in vegetable oil. And it's like, that's good for you. I'm glad that you have a place that will let you bitch at them until they cook with butter. But like, it's not like that is a real thing. And I'm happy for you that that's your truth. I just made you laugh so hard you hit a bong. That's crazy. But like for me, the stress of cooking at home was more than eating this vegetable oil today. You know what I mean? So, and also if you're worried about vegetable oil, you probably are doing a very good job with everything else already.
I was going to say like, yeah, when you start... Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
That's what's just funny to me right now is the RFK heads keep being like seed oil, and I'm like, okay, that's not what he platformed on though. Like like, he hates seed oil. He loves yelling about that shit. Yeah. But I mean, again, it's not good for you. But that's not like the main gripe of the American healthcare system right now either. You know, we need to get people to eat a vegetable before we get concerned about the oil. But yeah, I mean, you know, getting back to what you said, it's like I try to meal prep and cook for myself as much as possible. But if it's more stressful to do that than eat out a few nights a week, then I will eat out. I can't eat gluten. So I know in Austin, at least, the places I can go where I'm safe. P. Terry's will make me a burger on a lettuce wrap if I really need something fast, and that's the last thing open.
God bless that place.
Amen.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's the best. Good. The shawarma trucks always got me. All the uncles know who I am at this point. Meat and rice and veggies, perfect. I mean, there's some Thai places open late. Like, there's a couple of spots that even post-COVID era are open late or are starting to be open late again, including the Creek in the Cave food truck. But yeah, you know, it's more so just like I think everyone needs to figure out what works best for them. Like, it's cool to follow a trend or use a trend to figure out what parts of it work for you, but ultimately you need to be paying attention to how you feel and what your blood work says. Like, because the plan's gonna be different for everyone.
I was gonna ask about that exact thing. Do you do blood work?
Yeah.
How often do you blood work?
It's been a couple of years, honestly. Well, actually, no, it's been a year because I did my annual last year, but no, I just, one of the supplement company I'm working with tomorrow, they have a clinic here in town. And since I'm working with the supplement company again, I will likely get my, my blood work redone because I take their vitamin IVs and their injections pretty regularly too. But it is definitely good to check in.
Was that the place that we did the podcast last time?
Yes. Yeah. And I was laughing because this looks just like the back. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, because I need to get, because my health care that I have right now with the VA is going to run out in July. Ugh. And I'm hoping that I get a promotion at work so I can afford fucking health care.
Jeez.
But yeah, I need to get my blood work done, figure out what's going on. Because I mean, the testosterone thing is still going to be an issue.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be an issue until, and even when my diet is like at its best, like,
right.
You know what I mean? I'm only at like 280.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean,
I'm not.
Testosterone is super finicky. From what I've seen, I mean, one of my personal training client is still on it. Like I know a lot of men that are on TRT or have gone through it before, or just played with their testosterone levels in general to try and
miss being on TRT. So
yeah, it makes you feel like a beast. I hear.
Well, here's my thing, because like what had happened was I was on test through the VA, and because of their policies, and their policies are based on the type of clientele that they have, and it's typically older guys that are getting on TRT,
right.
They don't give you more than 400 milligrams a month.
Okay.
And I needed more.
Yeah.
Because they literally started me out at 200 a month, and I think inside 60 days they're like, okay, we need fucking 400. This does not work. You should be feeling effects right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't feel shit. And so I got up to $400 a month. And the way that they were doing is I like kind of like not to the extent that you did with your own health, but I like got really into like
and
learning
you can feel
about
it.
Well, I got into like learning about TRT, testosterone, steroids in general,
how
like
to support it,
like what does what and all this kind of stuff. And the way they were doing it was all wrong. Like they would give me, when I was at 400, they would give me 200 milligrams every 2 weeks. And so like I would feel like a little spike in the beginning, but that would go away super quickly. And then everything that I was reading was like, no, you need to be doing, regardless of what well, in theory, this is for people that are taking therapeutic doses.
Right.
They're not blasting.
Right.
They're not bodybuilders.
Right.
They're not trying to fucking turn into the Hulk.
Right.
They're just doing it for health reasons. In theory, if your dose is low enough, you're just doing sub-Q injections like every 2 days. Mm-hmm. But it's like if you're doing IM injections or if you're doing the cream or whatever it is, something that you can do over time, you're supposed to be doing it like twice a week.
Oh, okay.
Not once every 2 weeks because you have that huge and then you go
hit
down and then you're like a roller coaster.
That's interesting.
You need to sustain. And so I was like, okay, well, this isn't fucking working out for me. Then I went to a buddy of mine who passed away a few years ago, but like I was going to him. And he was helping me out, but I wasn't taking a whole lot.
Yeah.
I was only taking, because I was taking 800 milligrams a month.
Okay.
So I doubled. I ended up doubling what the VA did. I did my blood work with them. My blood work went from like 454 with the VA to 890 or something.
Nice.
And I felt like a god.
Yeah.
But then, my case was so crazy and so strange to them because there was no reason why I should have low test. I was working with the fucking head.
Did they test your cortisol and other hormones?
Everything.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so
estradiol, estrone, like all of the estrogens. Wow.
Yeah. And so I was working with the head of the endocrinology department. And I remember I did my blood work after I was doing that and it came back as 890 whatever. And she was like, hey, like when she left me this voicemail, she's like, hey, we just got your blood work back. Call me.
Oh my God, she's not happy.
Yeah, like we had like a personal relationship at this point. And she was like, hey, Noah, how are you feeling? And I was like, I'm good. And she was like, I'm sure you are. What's going on? Because at this point, I'd stopped doing IMs with them and I just had like patches.
Right.
And I was like, what do you want me to say?
Yeah.
I felt like in high school or over again.
Yeah,
you know?
she caught you doing drugs somehow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And she was like, we need to talk.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so you have a second? I'm like, yeah. She goes, listen, what you do in your own free time is up to you. However, if you continue to make, how did she put it? She's like, if you continue to make certain decisions, we cannot do your blood work.
What the fuck?
Because you're not getting care from us.
What if you literally had a spike like that because of lifestyle changes? Because I've also seen that. They just assumed you were using extra. That's so annoying.
Yeah. So I was like, all right. And then what I got worried about though was like, what I really worried about was I had no.
They're like, you got too healthy without us.
Yeah.
We can't help you anymore.
Yeah, for real.
That's literally what she said to you.
Yeah, for real. And so I was like,
I fucking hate the healthcare system, dude.
Yeah. So then she was like, hey, well, because I wasn't experiencing any crazy side effects. Like the negative.
Yeah, that's why they're mad. They can't sell you more medicine for the side effects.
Right. Yeah. Like I wasn't having. Like I didn't have any like roid rage.
Yeah.
I didn't have any acne or any pimples. I didn't have. I didn't get like man boobs, bitch tits. I didn't get that.
Yeah.
I didn't. What was the other one that was like a big? Erectile dysfunction wasn't even a thing. If anything, it was like a supercharger. Like I was fucking
flex.
Yeah.
He was flexing.
Yeah. Everything was like I was cruising at altitude.
Right.
Like, it was exactly where I was supposed to be feeling for the first time in like 20. I was 20. I'm turning 28 next month. I was 26 at the time. So I had felt great for the first time in 25 and a half years. I was fucking phenomenal. And so what I was always worried about though was like, okay, I know where I'm at right now. But what does this look like if I'm doing this for a while? What does it look like when I get off? Because I don't have any. I'm sure I could get it at the time, but like I was like, what the fuck do I do for PCT? What do I do for like the after effects to like help the body get back to the shitty state it was at? I guess, but like, you know what I mean? I can't. It's not sustainable. I'll take that back. the one negative side effect that I had was because I was doing IM in my ass. I was
pain.
Well, not even the pain. It was the knots.
Yeah, you get little muscle knots. Yeah,
I was getting the knots.
Yeah,
and so,
I have track marks on my arm from my IVs.
And so I was getting these little fucking knots, and I was like, "This is not sustainable."
Yeah.
Like, what do I do? And so now, like, I'm not on it anymore, and like, I got my blood work done 8 months ago, maybe 10 months ago. Yeah, because it was definitely after June, so like 8 or 10 months ago, and I'm back down to fucking like 260 something.
I mean, if you want the TLDR breakdown of what research says you can do as a reset: stop drinking, consistent sleep schedule, healthy diet, exercise. I mean, any of the core basics that we just said, like,
yeah, and that's the thing though, is like, even at my
it's a long-term lifestyle change.
Yeah, and at my healthiest, I just have low testosterone.
Yeah,
like, even at my healthiest, it's not high.
I mean, but I've seen
it's weird.
It also depends on how long you sustain those changes, though. Like, if you were to just like do a 75 hard or something, obviously that's a crazy challenge. But like, if you were to, let's just say, like, do a normal 90-day
just
like health challenge. Just like I said, stop drinking, stay hydrated, sleep enough, move around a lot.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely, like, we have seen blood work in the clinic in 35-plus-year-old men go from like the 200s to the 900s before, like, jump. Yeah. So, I mean, but that's also with the knowledge of, you know, if the rest of their blood work says that their liver's moving slow, like, did you have your liver enzymes tested or anything like that? Because you could have had a liver thing that's creating, like, it's slowing down the conversion of your testosterone being created. Like, if the liver is not clear, it's going to seep a bunch of shit into the rest of your body that interferes with production of everything else. So it's like, I've seen so many people's health get really kind of reset by addressing their liver and their adrenal health.
Yeah, that's true. I don't remember I don't remember if like liver enzymes got tested or not.
Yeah, like liver detox. I mean, I take a supplement regularly that helps with liver detox, and I can like feel the difference because I'll cycle off of it sometimes. It's just called Liver Boost. It's the company I'm working with, but cool. I'll send it to you if you want. But it's just a capsule, and it's like I notice a difference in my digestion, my sleep, all those different things between when I have a bottle and when I don't.
No shit.
It's crazy. And I mean, I'm such a like, the liver is king, like liver king, but not that guy thing now, because
he's got a fucking Netflix documentary.
Of course he does.
No, because Netflix has been doing.
Netflix is encouraging psychopathy with all of the specials they're giving now.
So they're doing this series called Untold, where it's supposed to be this like the dark side of whatever subject,
like influence or just of anything.
Oh yeah, of whatever the subject is. And they did one on Liver King, and I didn't watch it, but you know how like if you hover over the Netflix thing, it plays like the preview. So it starts out and it's Derek from More Plates, More Dates.
Oh my God.
And it's his video where he's like, yeah, we got his blood test results. And we went through our emails and we saw that he had reached out to us. Then we got these leaked emails for him going to a bodybuilding coach. And then he was taking all these like pharmaceutical grade growth hormone and blah, 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 blah. And then it cuts to Liver King and he goes, yeah, when I saw that, I knew I was found out. And it's like, no, okay, maybe you were found out by people with a working fucking brain. We've lived through Arnold Schwarzenegger, dude. Like, when we see your fucking protruding, what do they call it? I know it's
the roid belly.
Well, it's the
visceral fat.
Yeah, it's the turtle shell.
Yeah.
Like, when we see the turtle shell, your Palumbo gut. It's like, hey, bro, you're not living because the part that they included from Derek's video is he's like, that's not exactly adhering to the 9 ancestral tenets.
Yeah. Oh my God,
so yeah, dude, sorry, I'll be honest, I watched a few of the podcasts that he went on, where he would spew his bullshit,
right?
Because he's a snake oil salesman.
Well, the way that you can smell those out really easily in the fitness industry is if he is both big and he's shredded, he's probably juiced.
Oh, yeah.
But most people don't say it that way. One of my friends just worded it like that to me this weekend, and I was like, oh my God, you're so right. Like, you can have a guy that's fucking burly and big, but he has a normal amount of body fat. He can still have abs, but have a normal amount of body fat. but like
it's the insane
vascularity guy that has a fucking target ball up here on his traps. But yeah,
when you look like a Google Maps page, like you shouldn't.
The Texas map right there.
Yeah, when you look like that, that's his bicep.
Yeah.
So it's like, everyone could tell from that. But I watched some of his podcasts that he did. Like he went on like Full Send and like Bradley Martin and a few other guys or whatever. And apparently, and this is from Rogan himself, apparently he was like begging to get on Rogan.
Oh yeah,
like,
that wouldn't surprise me at all.
But anyway, he was talking about how like, we eat raw this, and I only like I walk around barefoot and I sleep on the floor like on wooden
all of those
panels.
That's the problem with those people is that is rooted in all of the shit the people at this conference this week are going to be talking about. Grounding is great. Getting out in the sun, great.
Yeah, but he was also great. A comfy bed.
Yeah, for sure.
We're in a first world country. Use a pillow.
Texas, we're in a first world country. I don't know about New Mexico.
Yeah, we're fucking no. But like, dude, indoor plumbing. You don't have to shit in the woods.
Yeah.
Indoor plumbing is sick.
Shit in the woods is for special occasions.
And apparently.
That's as a treat, you know?
You're so funny. You're so funny. Anyway, but he would talk about how like, and apparently, I think the Full Send guys were talking about this like a month or so after they did the podcast. Because apparently the dude takes natural showers, whatever the fuck. Apparently, he smells horrible.
Does he like have a cow piss on him? Like, what is that?
I have no idea, but like, apparently the dude just doesn't wear any kind of deodorant. He doesn't whatever. And it's just like, dude.
I'm picturing what we used to do at the ranch, which is stick a hose in the water tank with a shower head on the other end of the hose and suck on it to get it to fucking...
Wait, what? Okay, what?
You know, you can stick a hose into like any body of water, and if you like literally just suck on it to start, like get the water flowing, it'll continue flowing.
Right.
So we would stick a hose into like the water tank for the land, like the stock water tank that would go out to the water troughs for the animals. And we would stick a hose in the top of it with a shower head on the other end and like pump the water to go through the shower head and just hang it off of the tank so we could shower after going hunting.
You know what? Yeah, you earned concerts. Yeah, you earned your concerts.
Yeah. Honestly, outdoor showers, pretty fun.
But yeah, that dude is...
those are the guys that smell like BO and patchouli at the same time. Like just essential oils, you know? It's just like...
bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm cool with taking my showers, not being on... I think he was on like $25,000 a year worth of gear.
Jeez.
Or, sorry, $25,000 a month.
Supplement. A month.
Yeah, $25K a month worth of gear.
No wonder he needed a big platform. That's crazy.
Yeah, and so like, and then like, who I really feel bad for is his family.
Yeah,
because he put his family through all this bullshit.
Yeah,
and there's like videos of his kids eating raw meat and bull testicles, and it's like this. Why are you making them like live a?
I mean, they might actually be eating like that's not. I hate to be like this. Yeah. There are people in the biohacking community that are regularly doing things like that because it is good for you, and that's why that guy's platform got big.
Yeah, but fuck
because
you.
it's based on he did it like half correct. You know what I mean? Like
right. Okay. But again, for argument's sake, let's say really handsome guy asks you on a date, like, "Hey, Allison, I'm gonna make you dinner." Isn't that awesome? I'm gonna make you.
I'd be so mad if it was bull testicles for the first meal.
I'm gonna pick you up. Nice house, not a huge house, not something expensive. It's a nice place. Brings you over and goes, you walk through the door and he's like, dinner's already ready. Isn't that awesome? And he pulls out raw meat. Fuck you.
How hot are we talking?
Oh my God, no, stop it.
I'll eat some raw red meat. I'm not going to lie. That doesn't bother me. Okay, I love tartare.
Like a whole pallet of like liver and testicles. Okay,
yeah, no, I can't do that.
And like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm also just being difficult right now.
I know you are.
Insane.
I know you are. But I'm too...
Sorry, my woman is showing.
Oh, look, it only took you just under 2 hours.
Yes.
So I think that's the world record.
New record.
Yes.
I wore the King shirt today.
yeah, the fucking OG. Love it.
I get a lot of compliments on this shirt, by the way, because I think everyone sees it out of the corner of their eye and thinks it's OnlyFans, and then they actually read it and go, oh, thank God. I can talk to this dumb bitch. Oh my God, thank God she's not wearing an OnlyFans shirt. And then I tell them, well, I actually am on OnlyFans. And then they're like, oh, she's a dumb bitch again.
That's funny.
OnlyFans, only comedy.
I was gonna say, you feel like your comedy.
Only comedy on the OnlyFans.
That bit you have about, it's on your Instagram, so about like all the fucking dicks that just flew your way and they had to pay for it. Dude, that's passive income.
They pay to send it.
That's the wildest.
Wait, that's one of my tags for it. That's so funny. That's so funny. It didn't make it in that clip, but that's one of the tags I usually do for it.
Fucking yes.
I'm like, is this passive income? My dad always talks about it.
Hey, Dad, I found the passive income.
That's my favorite part is my dad, like, encouraged me to take the OnlyFans special. So, like, anytime anyone tries to give me shit, I'm like, Steve approved.
Hey, get your fucking money. Who gives a fuck? What time did you have to split to the Creek in the Cave?
We should probably wrap it up fairly soon.
Okay, cool. Well, tonight, this is going to come out in a few weeks, but tonight, you're very gracious enough to put me on your
Litty
Titty Tuesdays. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Can you just like briefly explain what the show format is, what it's like?
Yes. I host everyone. I book a guest co-host for each show, and then like 10 to 15 gong comedians. We open the show with some stand-up, and then I give the rules for the gong comedians. Every gong comedian gets up to 5 minutes. If they're doing well, that's great. Enjoy the show. Clap. It's a comedy show. If they're not doing great, we hand out glow sticks to the crowd. There will be 3 glow sticks in the crowd. And if all 3 of them turn on during someone's set, we hit the gong and end the set, and then maybe talk some shit to either the crowd or the comic, depending on what happened. There's been times where the crowd gongs the comic and me and the co-host disagree. And so we'll turn on the crowd with the comic. It's very much just like whatever the funniest option is in the moment. Yeah. So I don't want people to feel like, I know it's a nerve-wracking situation, but I don't want people feeling genuinely scared. I want them to feel like this is a game that can be won. You know, when you first go in, it's like, I'm going for a killer 5. And if for whatever reason it's not working, we give you a 90-second grace period at the beginning so that they can't gong you the first 90 seconds. And if for whatever reason they start lighting you up afterwards, I give the comics tips on how to do well after that. And
all she said was be funny.
I said be funny. No, I said if they light you, start talking shit to them because it usually works. Start crowd working if they start interrupting you. Like a lot of people try to barrel through and ignore the fact that the light turned on, but it's way more fun if you argue with them because then it breaks the tension, right?
What's funny is I did a show in Albuquerque, an old comic club we used to have there, and it was kind of the same thing, but like it was in reverse. So each table had a small light, and you had 10 minutes. And just from the jump, if they don't like you, they turn off their light.
Turn it off.
And so it's going on. So I'm eating a pallet of dicks. I am dying. And they gave me probably about a minute and a half, right? About 90 seconds. And then it started in the back. Just boom. Boom.
That's so annoying.
And then there was a table to my right, and I'm like maybe 8.5 minutes into just like, I'm talking silence. Like, they liked nothing I had to say.
That's also what sucks about my show is if the crowd is pussies, they'll also just not like you and let you bomb. Yeah. And then it sucks more sometimes.
Yeah. So there's a table to my right that kept their light on. And I saw the clock, and I've got 8.5, or I've got like a minute and a half left. And I just let them go, you see what's happening. And are you enjoying this? And then like people started laughing. I was like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so do the audience members that are holding the lights switch off?
Yeah, we'll switch it every couple comics. And me and the co-host also get god powers if we think they're being bad judges. we can gong people.
You have poor taste.
You guys are being pussies. Boom. And that is also like highly dependent on the co-host too. Like I try. Kylie Troop is very nice. She's the co-host tonight. We'll see how ruthless it is about us god-gonging people. But if I book like Amy Shanker or Zach O'Ryan or someone like that, they love hitting the gong on people. Like they are way meaner than me about just pulling it out before the audience decides it's time. I saw
Zacho for the first. I just saw the name on the list, but like he was on Mothership last night.
On
Open mic.
Yeah.
And yeah. That honestly, because you could tell, like he gets up there, like that dude's a pro comic.
Yeah,
like that dude's a comedian.
Yeah, he's
like,
very funny.
He does it professionally, does it regularly. Like that, it's that guy.
Yeah.
And nobody liked him, and I was just and nobody fucking liked him. Like he got a few laughs.
He consistently kills most places. Yeah, that's very surprising.
But he was so professional with it.
Yeah,
and
of course.
It was only 3 minutes.
Yeah.
But he was so professional with it, kept going, and I was like, dude, what is this crap? What?
Oh no, I've seen people who I know are touring headliners bombing the Mothership before, and it's just like, it's just the room. And also, I do think that the Mothership open mic crowd is kind of like the meanest crowd. I mean, obviously, I haven't done other shows. I've done Roast Battle there a couple of times, but like, the open mic crowd is specifically judgmental, and I think it's because they know they're in there for the open mic to start, and they're kind of just like, fuck these noobs, let's get to the crew part of the show. Yeah. So that can make it extra challenging.
That was the toughest fucking...
Yeah.
I haven't been around comedy very long, but that was the toughest room I've ever done.
That's the first time I felt at the store, too.
By a mile.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I liked it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
It's a cool place.
I got a couple laughs. You know, I got people to laugh, and I was like, thanks.
Yeah.
And it just scurried away.
Yeah. Tail between legs. Seriously, it's so scary. I'm always scared I'm going to fuck some shit up when I'm in there. Like, touch the wrong thing, get yelled at. God damn it. Yeah.
But no, it was a lot of fun. Before we get out of here, thank you again for
Thank
doing
you. This was fun.
Yeah, it's cool seeing you again.
Yeah.
This is awesome. And seriously, I just want to say thank you for, like, helping me and AJ get a lot of shows. I'm very, like...
Yeah.
Comedy aside, I'm very happy we've become friends. You're fucking awesome.
Yeah, me too.
But, like, seriously, thank you for all the help. And you've
Totally.
kind of gone out of your way. So, for real. Like, and I really do
Well, I'm glad that you guys were funny on the show on Sunday, so I didn't have to regret it.
That's the thing, is like,
I've never seen AJ do comedy, so I was like, fuck it, we ball. Maybe I make an enemy or two in the Austin scene by recommending these guys, but whatever.
Because I was talking to a few of my homies in Albuquerque, and I was like, I'll be real with you. This is, like, I have shows, and this is going to be awesome, but, like, you know, it's my work phone. Fuck you.
Hell yeah.
I'm on vacation. Anyway, but I was telling this one, I was like, yeah, I'll be real. Like, I've only gotten shows out there because I'm getting vouched for. and look, that's cool. Like, that's been like a theme of me and AJ doing.
Well, that's how you get in, though. Like,
right? Yeah. Well, we're only 2 years into it. We're barely getting it up to 2 years.
Yeah.
And so we've just been at the right place at the right time, and thank God it's worked out. Yeah. Like, thank God we don't fuck up. Like, when it matters.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I can't bomb because, like, she's gonna look dumb and I might lose a friend, and like I can't bomb.
Let's be very clear. I won't end a friendship if you're not funny. I will stop vouching for you.
Yeah, exactly. I can't fuck this up, man. I'm gonna set myself back. Like, I can't fucking. So yeah, thankfully Velveeta went well. And tonight's gonna be. I'm very excited for the show.
Tonight's gonna be fun.
I'm very excited. Yeah. So seriously, thank you very much. Mm-hmm. You're very kind.
Of course. I just spilled all over the couch to end the podcast.
Fuck, it's there.
Subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Where can people find you on social media, you degenerate? You fuck.
I'm at Alliwo, ALLIWO on TikTok, Instagram, most of the stuff, alliwo.com for shows, and at Litty Titty Comedy for the show that he's doing tonight.
Oh, and by the time this comes out, the new day is...
It's going to be Thursdays at 10, starting June 2025. We are graduating from Tuesdays to Thursdays, so... We're out of your time slot. Thursdays at 10. Security at Creek's going to have to actually do their job.
Well, it's also traditionally, it's tough. I mean, me and AJ have experienced this because well, he runs it a lot. The Tuesday show that we have in Rio Rancho, it's tough. Like, Tuesday is traditionally a very hard night to do comedy. So the fact how long has Lady Tay been going?
2.5 years.
So the fact you've been doing that successfully is incredible. So you should be very proud of that.
Thank
and clearly you have a proof of product because now it's Thursdays. Congratulations on all the success you've had.
Thank you.
And all the success that we talk about personally that I'm not going to say.
Yeah.
Congratulations on all that.
Thank
Seriously,
you.
you're doing big shit. And
Yeah.
it's awesome to see, like, the right people getting their due.
I appreciate that.
It's sick, dude.
I mean, comedy's crazy. It's super fun to watch. You get to do all these things that you're doing already too. And like, I think it was like a Sam Morril quote. He said, as long as your complaints keep getting better every year, you're doing something right in comedy.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. You'll start complaining because you don't get booked, and then you're only booked on shitty shows, and then you're only booked to host, and then you're only featuring, and it keeps getting better every year. So I like it.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to tonight.
Hell yeah.
Thank you again. Thank you for listening and watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you like what you've seen here, please share it with as many people as possible. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, Apple Podcasts. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. It really does help out the podcast. And if you're feeling extra generous, feel free to subscribe to our Patreon, which I have coming soon.